What is up, guys? My name is Pruitt, and today I'm bringing you something for the very first time. This is my NBA 2K23 roster for NBA 2K22. Now, this is only going to be available on next-gen Xbox, unfortunately. Not cross-platform on 2K yet. Hopefully someday they'll do that with these files, but for the time being, that's not the case. And to put it simply, this is just a roster with all of the rookies that have been added. I've made attribute adjustments, tendency adjustments, working on contracts, adjusted signature skills, really everything you can think of just to make this a more realistic experience. Now, I've gone ahead and tested out this roster a number of times with different franchises, whether it be fantasy drafts, rolling with the actual rosters that teams have, just to see if we can get some more realistic simulated stats. Because I'm sure, as some of you have seen, the base roster produces just completely unrealistic results in a number of ways, like guys averaging 35, 12, and 10 on 50, 40, 90, like just putting up stat lines that have never happened, whereas other guys who are quite good might not average anywhere near what they do in real life or what they have the potential to do in real life, simply because I don't think that 2K has invested the time that they perhaps should have into the tendencies. One thing that's really unique about 2K is they give you this full array of different tendencies and play styles and preferred play types, things like that. And that can be really useful for creating something pretty accurate, pretty close to real life. But then it doesn't seem that those tools have actually been utilized. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and, through a lot of trial and error, tweaked these tendencies, settings, sliders, whatever it may be, to get a pretty realistic kind of experience for everyone. So hopefully you'll enjoy that. Right now, I'm gonna go ahead and outline some of the teams, some of the rosters. I'm quickly gonna scroll through. You'll get to see the rookies. Now, one thing you'll notice right away is the overalls of the players are a little wonky on my roster. And the reason I've done that is I've gone ahead and set every single player's intangible rating to 50. And the reason I've done that is 2K uses that intangible rating just to manipulate overalls. It doesn't have any effect on gameplay or averages, anything like that. The only instance where it would have an effect on like the stats a player gets is obviously the overalls that players have affects the minute distribution that the teams auto-assign to the players. So by tweaking the intangible, it affects the overalls. It could theoretically affect playing time for guys, but in my experience, it has no negative effect, and I just like it to all be the same. It's weird to have somebody with a 99 intangible and someone with a 25 intangible, then you don't really know how good a player actually is. So to avoid that, everyone has been set to 50. And that includes all of the rookies that I've created, put into the game. Now, just to focus on the rookies for a moment, I've done a lot. I put more time into the rookies than I have the rest of the roster combined. Just getting those tendencies right, getting the attributes as close to real life as the way I see it anyways. I've also set potential ranges for all these guys that are in line with my view of them. Of course, there's always an element of your personal view going into something like this. But I think my view on the draft every year is relatively close to consensus. There's always a few, like I was higher on Banchero, I think, than a lot of people, and this might reflect that. But so for example, I think he's an 81 on this roster. You probably won't see. I'm guessing when 2K comes out, he probably won't be quite that high. But historically, the ratings I've given to these rookies have been pretty in line with the ratings that 2K does hand out. The key distinction being that I spend a lot more time getting the tendencies and the individual attributes to line up with the player so that produces numbers that are realistic. Just as an example, last year I did the draft class with Cade and Evan Mobley and Jalen Green and Scotty Barnes, and my Cade ended up being that's so weird to say. The Cade I made ended up putting up almost identical stats to what he averaged in real life. And I'm a huge Cade guy, but I expected that he'd be a little inefficient as a rookie, and that's exactly what we saw. This year around, I've done the same thing. I like the potential range feature because you can play through with these rosters a couple times and get different results. You're not just getting the same outcome every time, and I think that's realistic because for a lot of these guys, where the situation they're in can have a major impact on whether they become an all-star, an all-NBA player, or they become just a good starter, a role player, or maybe don't succeed at all. So I think having those ranges is important because it gives you that sense of realism and that these guys, that their careers could go a number of different ways. I don't think there's anything that's too dramatically different in these rosters. So we can probably just leave it at that. If you would like to download it, go ahead and search my gamertag, which is just PR3W. I don't know exactly what the roster is going to be titled yet because as of recording right now, I'm having issues with the 2K servers letting me actually upload this freaking thing. It was uploaded for a while, and then I made the mistake of trying to work on a different roster, and then it just messed up everything. So I'm going to post the roster name on the screen here. So you can go ahead and either search that or search my gamertag to find it. And yeah, feel free to let me know if you have feedback, if you disagree with ratings, anything like that. I'm always happy to take it into consideration. I watch I watch more basketball than I probably should, but there's always going to be players that everybody is. We all have instances where we haven't had the chance to watch a guy as much as others may have. So any feedback you have, much appreciated. And I'm going to be using this roster as a guide of sort to kind of break down my preseason rankings this year. I'm planning on doing a lot more basketball content going forward. If you were to click on my channel, you'd see that this is actually the first basketball NBA related thing I've uploaded, I think. Anyways, I had some on another channel a while ago, but I don't think those are up anymore. I'm not sure. Anyways, so this is just kind of the start of something new. I also want to apologize now because I don't have a working camera for recording this stuff. I don't have a microphone. I'm just using my iPhone right now. So this is the best I've got for the time being. If these videos catch on, if I start to get some viewership on them and continue making this content, I will invest a little bit in a better setup here. But for the time being, I just wanted to make people aware that this roster was out there. If you are like me and are looking for a slightly more realistic, and in my opinion, more fun simulation experience, or even just a franchise in general, go ahead, download this roster, let me know what you think. Any feedback, leave it in the comments, shoot me a message. I'll throw my Twitter handle up on in the description, I guess. I'm not positive about that, but you can reach out to me a number of different ways or just leave a comment, and we will go from there. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Talk to you later.